Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.
I really appreciate your participation with the Build Out live stream every Wednesday at noon Eastern Daylight Time. The stream will be starting in just 1 minute. In the meantime, let me take this opportunity to talk to you about the live streaming studio that I use to stream Build Out with Jim Kunkel. StreamYard is a live streaming browser-based studio that allows you to interview guests, share your screen, and much more. With StreamYard, you can multi-stream directly to your website, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and for those who qualify, live stream here on LinkedIn. So now's the time to start live streaming. In the event post and on the video description is a referral link for a $10 credit when you become a paid subscriber to StreamYard. Today on Build Out, my guest is Philipp, president at Coatings Unlimited. Stephen and I will have a conversation on the topic of workplace culture and worker appreciation. Okay, let's get the conversation with Stephen started. Welcome to Build Out. I'm Jim Kunkel. You can join this broadcast every Wednesday at noon Eastern Standard Time. Hey, joining me today is Philipp from president of Coatings Unlimited. Stephen, welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, Jim.
Hey, before we talk about workplace culture and worker appreciation, could you do a favor and go through your professional background and maybe talk a little bit about Coatings Unlimited, what you do?
Yeah, sure. So Coatings Unlimited is a QP1, QP2, QP8, QS1 firm. My family goes back in the industry to the late 1800s. I'm the fifth generation of family involved in the industry, third generation involved in the family business here. We work nationwide in all heavy industries and government, protecting concrete and steel from fire and water and corrosion. That's basically what we do.
Excellent, excellent. So when we talk about what is workplace culture and why it matters, when you look at culture for a company and organization, it's really the character and the personality of a company and organization, and it's what makes your business unique, and it also can impact performance. You're a family business. You grew up in the industry. How critical and how important is a culture when it comes to an organization or a company?
It's vital. We are in a mature, labor-intensive, highly regulated industry. Culture is what drives success in our business because we are people-powered, and we rely on the frontline workers every day, bringing their A game to the projects and the job sites and interfacing with the clients. They are the face of the company every day. So for them to show up and with a bad attitude kind of speaks volumes about the culture and how they're treated. So, employees are our greatest asset. We need to invest in that. So clients see that when we're on their projects.
So when it comes to having a company culture, is it important to have some ground rules at the beginning or have a base level of a culture established?
Of course, and it's not very complicated, but it's treat others the way you want to be treated is essentially the golden rule.
Mm-hmm.
And, you treat people right, they're gonna look forward to work, versus stewing about work on a Sunday night or the night before they got to go in. Just be looking forward to going to work because they're appreciated and they're treated well.
And what do you, in your opinion, obviously as a family business, what do you think is a big difference when it comes to company culture between yourself and, let's say, some of the Fortune 500 companies out there?
So, a company like us, we're what I would loosely term a boutique firm. We're not a Fortune 500 company. We're not some capital group invested firm. We're just a family business.
Mm-hmm.
And, so our relationship, it's more of a flat organization than a lot of layers and tiers going up on looking at spreadsheets and numbers. We know that human capital is what makes us all successful, and and like I said, it's very simple. You treat them right, treat your employees right. We're all going to be successful because they want to show up and bring their A game every day.
Yeah, what you just said is so critical and so important because, with a good culture, it really attracts talent for you. It drives the engagement with staff and employees. And also, when you're looking at recognition, it really means a lot when you do have recognition that happens. It impacts, let's say, the happiness of your staff and your teams out there.
Yeah.
So let's go into impactors on workplace culture. And some of the things that can impact a culture is going to be leadership. You're the president of your company. As a leader, how much of a role do you have in driving the culture and sustaining the culture attitude?
Well, yeah, it's very simple. Like, the verbal and nonverbal cues that I give to the frontline workers, they pick up on that. If I act a certain way, they pick up on that. So, you try to set the tone that we're here to build relationships and perform effectively in a highly competitive industry. So if I show up and I act like I don't care, that flows down through the company, and just it's almost what do you call it? I'm stuck on a word, but it
Like a self-limitation or
just a subconscious
a,
thing. Sorry.
No, that's not a problem. And also, too, I think as a leader, too, you have to recognize when you have management, you might have those that supervise. They're going to be also a critical element of the culture itself, and you want to empower them as a leader. You want to empower them to be able to make decisions, but also to help drive the culture within the company itself.
Absolutely.
Another area to look at is going to be workplace practices. And when we talk about culture with workplace practices, we're talking about, as you said, really the golden rule, treat others as you want them to treat you. And then the other thing too is to look at the interaction. Let's say if you're having company meetings or if you're having events and things like that, to have that engagement. What are some of the things that you've done for engagement to really help promote culture? Any type of special events that you do with Coatings Unlimited?
Yeah, so we do things at the company level and things at the job site level, both. Company level, we every winter we have what they call a roundhouse event, and we bring in all of our field leaders and maybe deeper than that, and have what we call a roundhouse, and it's a safety meeting, but it's also a worker appreciation event where we bring in lunch and tell them how much we appreciate them, and bring in vendors and they bring in swag and stuff like that. And that's one thing. But at the job site level, we really encourage our field leaders to do, when they hit certain milestones on projects, to show appreciation for the crews. They'll have a barbecue or a pizza party or something like that, and just to show, hey, we appreciate your hard work. Thank you for showing up with your A game, working safe, and helping us look good to this client.
It's interesting because sometimes the little things really mean the big difference, and it really helps motivate. It also helps to
Right.
show, like you said, that recognition. In another area too, that's highly recommended with workplace culture is going to be the policies and the procedures within a company. They're more geared towards that team mentality, collaboration, engagement internally, and then also too, culture can flow outwards too, to not only your customers and your clients, but also to in your relationships with your vendors and other providers out there too. So it actually becomes not only ingrained internally, but externally as well. The other area too is looking at the mission, the vision, the mission, the vision, and the values. And you and I have had conversations prior to the stream, and that's really super critical for your operation. Is to focus on mission, but also really to promote the values and also to the vision of what you're looking to achieve as a company.
Mm-hmm.
An area too that I'd like to have someone comment on is regarding creating a culture of worker recognition and appreciation. Employee recognition, it helps fortify companies and an organization's values. What type, you had mentioned earlier about doing some events such as a pizza party and things like that. What other type of recognitions do you do at Coatings Unlimited?
There's no bounds. It's a case by case basis. There's no playbook, so to speak. Like I said, it's letting guys know, letting the men and women know that work for us that we appreciate them, and we'll do various things, various events for them, whether it be sometimes they're having trouble at home and they can't make ends meet, or they have some kind of financial difficulty. We'll chip in. We'll donate money to them and the family. Um, it knows no bounds. Kindness knows no bounds.
That's a great point. And Glassdoor.com had conducted a survey some years ago, and they found that 53% of employees want to stay at a company where they feel appreciated from management and leadership. And that obviously having that type of retaining employees is super critical, because if you lose key employees, or if you lose too many employees, it could be an impactor to your business and operation. So turnover obviously can be addressed through culture, and not only in addition to policies and procedures. Now, some of the examples of recognition could be anything from micro recognitions, where maybe someone achieves a certain status, maybe they get a certification, or they obtain, let's say, a master's degree. There are ways to kind of recognize those individuals and to really help showcase them, let's say, internally with staff. Informal recognition, I think that's a lot of what you were talking about earlier to do. And then the formal recognition, I know some companies that I'm have friends that work for that will do end of the year, and they actually give out staff awards. They have a celebration for the year, and it coincides typically with a Christmas party or holiday party.
Yeah.
And those are things that really make a big impact for the staff, and then also too for the company's culture. And then the last thing is really the special events. I remember in the past where, a friend of mine worked for a company that made data communications equipment. Every quarter, depending on how the quarter was, they would either have meetings regarding how we can do better, or if they really nailed their goals, they would actually close down Friday afternoon. They had a huge parking lot. They would actually bring in a small type of an amusement type of vendor, and they would have, in October, they would do it as an Oktoberfest, or depending on the time of the year and the quarter, they would do it based on a holiday theme or an upcoming, time frame, spring celebration or summer celebration.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of things that you can do to really kind of help do formal special events, either on site or do off site. Have you done any of those in the past?
So that's a little complicated for us. We are spread out.
Yeah.
St. Louis, Missouri is our corporate office, but our projects are far and wide. So interrupting people's lives and projects to travel everybody to St. Louis is kind of a big deal. So we kind of decentralize that down through the different projects in different regions, and support the PMs and the lead supervisors on site to do something that's tailored to those individuals on those projects. And that gets the greatest joy and the greatest impact, the peer recognition amongst their people that are working shoulder to shoulder with every day.
Yeah, very good, very good. Yeah, Stephen, what a great conversation we're having. Is there anything that we did not talk about regarding, workplace culture, employee appreciation, that you'd want to leave with the viewers?
I don't know, just not to be corny or anything, but a friend of mine gave me a nice little Chinese proverb, and that's the best fertilizer is a farmer's foot. And that's true in our business, where, like I said, we're spread out. But for me to go get on an airplane, get in the car, go visit these projects and see our employees, that really shows that I care, that management cares, that the family business cares about what they're doing. And it's much appreciated that we take the time, not that we're doing them any big favors or anything, but that we took the time to see them, see what they're doing day to day, and appreciate them and thank them for what they're doing for us. And so, like I said, the best fertilizer being the farmer's foot applies there, where you get out, you see people and see the client while you're there, but just show the workers that hey, I care about what you're doing. What you're doing is important to us, and thank you. And that's a big deal. That's a big deal.
It definitely is, and that's a great point to end on. One of the things too that I look at is really that engagement and getting out there, and that's super important. Steve, for next broadcast coming up next Wednesday, it will be a pre-recorded stream. But sometimes it's important to partner with your customers to really help increase your sales. And a friend of mine, Joe Professori from Regal Industrial, will be on that stream. It will be pre-recorded and played next Wednesday. So I'm looking forward to that discussion. Stephen, thank you so much for joining today. But how can people get in contact with you? Is it best through LinkedIn or website or social media?
Yeah, we're all over LinkedIn. We're on Facebook. Email me directly, stevejr@coatingsus.com. Whatever. I'm always available. Just whatever I can do to help the industry with whatever successes or failures I've had throughout my career.
Excellent. I appreciate the opportunity to have a conversation with you today on workplace culture and employee appreciation. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Jim, and thank you, audience. Appreciate it.
Excellent. Have a great day.
You too. Thanks.